What is going on, guys? Papacy back in the video for you guys, and today we're going to be looking at Gladiator Beasts as an archetype as a whole. In case you guys don't know, with the recent Duel Coliseum event, I think that's what it's called at least, there's some new Gladiator Beast cards. I love Gladiator Beasts. I play them a ton in the TCG. Didn't get a chance to mess around with them too much in Duel Links because at the time that they were relevant, I wasn't really playing them. That's when I got out of the game for a little bit. But if you guys enjoy the content and support the channel and see more Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh content, I should say, because I did upload a Yu-Gi-Oh TCG video as my previous upload. Make sure you guys leave a like, it helps tremendously, and subscribe if you're new. So Gladiator Beasts, in a nutshell, if you don't know what they do, basically they attack, they send themselves back to the deck, special summon another Gladiator Beast monster from the deck, and then when special summon, they get an effect. For example, Bestiari destroys a spell or trap, Murmelo destroys a face-up monster, Liquori gains 300 attack, so on and so forth. So the new ones that we got are down here. All of the gray ones, besides Heraclinos, I don't have a Heraclinos, I know, it sucks. But we got Darius, Akest, or Aquest, or pronounce it, Ratari, or Rediari, Tigerius, and Gladiator Taming. So the first card, and arguably the most impactful card, Gladiator Beast Darius. What does he do? First off, it's a Beast Warrior, which is relevant. You may notice that Darius and Liquori, which are two really good Gladiator Beast cards, are both Beast Warrior. And this is just Beast, which could be relevant. So, when it's special summon, you special summon a Gladiator Beast monster from your graveyard in defense, but its effects are negated. Now, in the TCG, this is better because you can attack with, say, Liquori, tag out, go into Darius, special summon your Bestiari from the graveyard, and then contact fuse into Gyzarus, which is not in the game, and destroy 2 cards in the field, because that's what Gyzarus does. Since there's no main phase 2 in Duel Links, that's something that really holds this deck back in Duel Links. That, and another thing that I think is really holding this deck back is this deck is pretty reliant on the initial normal summon. Kind of similar to For Hires. Obviously, this deck behaves very differently than how For Hires behaves. For Hire can swarm the field in a turn pretty easily. This deck does not really swarm like that. This deck does not OTK or anything like that. But they are both very reliant on the normal summon. If you stop the normal summon, this deck can't do much. And since For Hires are so popular, since so many people are stopped the normal summon with cards like Chalice, Treacherous Trap Hole, Paleozoic Canadia, stuff like that, I feel like Gladiator Beasts really won't be able to hang too much in this meta, but I think in the future they can hang. However, this deck does have, in theory, I haven't tested the deck yet, in theory, this deck should have a decent matchup against For Hire because Gladiator Beast is a deck that can afford to run a lot of back. You kind of have to run a lot of back row, I should say. So throwing in those Canadias, throwing in those Floodgate Trap Holes, really won't hinder the deck's performance because Gladiator Beast, you summon a monster, set back row. You have Impenetrable Attack, which is a great support card. They attack your weaker monster, and there you go. Now, where do these new cards lay? I think all the new cards are playable with the exception of maybe Tigerius, and this card's a little bit tricky. But let's talk about the next card, and that is Gladiator Beast Akest. My favorite Gladiator Beast, to be honest. However, in Duel Links, not as good as this in the TCG. So, this card is special summon by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster. You can add 1 Gladiator Beast. Microsoft, why are you popping up with an update? You can add 1 Gladiator Beast card from your graveyard to your hand. So Akest special summons from the grave, or excuse me, Darius special summons from the grave, Akest adds from the grave. Now, important to note, this is Gladiator Beast card. So if there's a spell or trap with Gladiator Beast in its name, such as, I think the only one we have is Trojan Gladiator Beast, you can add that. Now, Trojan Gladiator Beast, I don't think should see any play. Special summon a Glad monster from your hand to your opponent's field and then draw a card. Yeah, you could recycle it with a cast, which is cool. This is better than TCG because if a card called Gladiator Beast War Chariot, which is a counter trap that if you activate it when you have a Gladiator Beast on the field, you can negate, I believe it's a monster effect, spell, or trap. It might be monster summon, but it's a really good counter trap. That's all you need to know. Unfortunately, we don't have that, so I don't think Akest will see much play. I mean, I guess it's nice to get monsters back from the graveyard in case they treacherous it or something like that, but I don't think it's really going to be all that relevant, unfortunately. Next up, we got Gladiator Beast Rediari, which I think will be teched, well, not really teched, I think will be played at 1 in Gladiator Beast cards, or Gladiator Beast decks. 1 is special summon by the effect of a Glad, banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard. Very good. Very good. You know, you can banish those Celestials, you can banish those, I don't know, I mean, against For Hire, it's not that amazing. Against Spellbooks, you can banish Spellbooks. Banish their monsters so they can't go for a Spellbook of Life play. Solid card. You know, unfortunately, it's only 1200 attack and it's a reptile. So, or excuse me, it's an aqua, not a reptile. So it doesn't really mesh as well with the other support cards because things that are some of the things that make Liquori and Darius and all these other ones so great is that they're beasts or winged beasts and that have a lot of support. However, Aquas don't really have much support in this game. So I think it's a good card. I think it will be played at 1. I definitely, once I get all these cards, I'll make a video on it, by the way. And I'm really looking forward to that because I'm going to farm this event because I love Glads. Next up, Gladiator Beasts Tigerius. Probably the worst card out of all the newer ones. It's not that bad, if I'm being honest. It is an 1800 beast, Gladiator Beast, which is nice. However, it can't be used for fusion summon. Kind of sucked. I don't know why they added that clause. It makes no sense. Now, this Gladiator Beast, when it attacks, it cannot tag out into another Glad, which is very important to know. If it could, it would be a lot better, but it doesn't do that for some reason. But when it is special summoned by the effect of a Glad, you discard a card to add a Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So it's not that bad, but at the same time, it's like, why would you need to add a Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to your hand when you can just tag out with like Darius, or just play 3 Laquari and tag out with that? Or you could just play Andal, which is just 100 more attack and can't search, but at least it's stronger, and it's a beast. Actually, they're both beasts, never mind. I don't know. I don't think it's that great. Don't think it'll be played, but it's not the worst card in the game. This is what I'm trying to say. Then next up, very, very interesting card. I never even knew this card existed. It must be a newer card. Gladiator Taming. Unfortunately, it's not Gladiator Beast Taming. If it was, it would be a much better card. But if you face up Gladiator Beast monsters on the field, it'll be your opponent's side of the field, which is interesting. Select a face monster from control, changes battle position, so it helps you attack over monsters, keeps switching defense, and then tag out. Or you can select a face-up Gladiator Beast monster your opponent controls, take control of the end phase. So, in the mirror match, you could summon a Glad, use this, take their Glad, fusion into Esadar or something like that. If this deck ever becomes super meta relevant in like tournaments that allow side decks, you will see this card in side decks against Gladiator Beast because you could just take their monster for free, which is really good. Or just switch to defense if you want. Either way, very good card. I like it a lot. Now, that's all of the newer cards. In terms of how they synergize with the older cards, and it's pretty self-explanatory, you know, Darius, special summoning anything, and then going into Esadari is really, really good because you revive the monster to put it back in the deck. I think that a lot of the Gladiator Beast decks will cut things like Augustus and things like maybe the third best tier, I think, go back to 2, maybe even 2 Laquari. This is in a 20 card format, you have to cut some things. I know when these, and they'll probably cut Dimikari if they're playing that, because Dimikari, it's not that bad, it can attack twice, but it's whatever. Now when this deck first came out, people were playing Respite a lot, and I feel like, again, if Respite was recycled off of a quest, it would be so much better. But since it's Gladiator Beasts 'S, you cannot add it back with the quest, which really sucks. Now, when this first came out, like I said, I tested it out, and it was pretty decent. Shuffle 2 Gladiator Beast cards from your hand to your deck, then draw 3. I mean, drawing 3 is always good. It's not a plus or anything like that, because you have to return 2 and use the card, but it's still pretty good. I think I'm going to try it out again. I don't think it'll be good, but you never know. And again, unfortunately, you can't get back any of these equipped spells, which I think would be decent. You know, you can't get this either, because it's Colosseum of the Gladiator Beasts with an S at the end. That's unfortunate. You can't get Disarm, you can't get Gladiator Lash, you can't get Parry. Would be a lot better if you could. So, now onto the other support cards that'll help this out that aren't Gladiator Beast cards. So in terms of the cards that were used in the past, I'm not going to go over them too much, but Gyoku, Pin a Spell or Trap, all your Beast Warriors gain 100 attacks, so that's Laquari, pretty good. Then you have Big Cattle Drive, if you control a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast type monster, which all of the Gladiator Beasts are one of those 3 types. Draw a card for each monster you control, but you can't have a spell or traps for the rest of the turn. This is definitely a win more card. You know, Glads are a deck that, like, they don't really need to draw that much. You know, once you have your 1 or 2 monsters poking and tagging out and your 2 or 3 back rows, you don't need too much. However, in a later on in the game, let's say you have 2 monsters on board and you have no back row and your opponent has nothing to stop you. Granted, you probably have game. You can just play this, draw 2 cards, hopefully draw some traps, and that'll help you out. Bullet Sea play, I'm definitely going to test it out and see how it works. Beast Rising, I think people are going to try this. I don't think it'll be good because you have to banish your Gladiator Beast monster, which you don't really want to do. Some of the Fire Fist stuff could be cool, especially the newer stuff. I haven't looked into it yet, but I know in the TCG there were some Gladiator Beast / Fire Fist meshes running around. I could definitely see them seeing some play. Now, this one I don't think is a bad. So when this card is activated, target a Beast Warrior monster you control during this phase. Its effects are negated during this phase. Interesting. Only during the main phase. Effects are negated. Also, it is unaffected by the effects of other cards other than this card. So I guess this card might be really good. I'm not sure if this works, but if I were to summon Laquari, my opponent goes for Canadia, and I activate this, does that negate the Canadia? And then, since it's only during the main phase 1, my effect isn't negated in the battle phase? Is that how that works? That's pretty good. If that works how I think it works. I don't know. I didn't realize that until I made this video. I didn't actually read this card. Although I did play it in a Standard Beast Warrior deck a while ago. Anyway. And then for the other cards, some new cards that I think will be really good. I like this card a lot. I love this card, actually. This card was very good in the TCG. I know TCG and Duel Links is very different, but generally speaking, if a card was good in TCG, it'll probably be decent in Duel Links. So it is important to keep that in mind. So target a Beast or Beast Warrior monster you control. A cat, or not a cast. Tigarius if you're playing it. We have Sam Knight. We don't have Sam Knight in this game, but if we did, Sam Knight. So it gains 800 attack, and when the equipped monster destroys a monster by battle, draw a card. And send it to the graveyard. It has to be sent to the graveyard. So that's important. So if you attack into a Canadia that they brought back, it's not being sent to the graveyard, so you don't get the draw. Pretty good card. I think this would be better in Fire Fist, but at the same time, Fire Fist already have a lot of back row, so having that extra back row might be bad in a 3-card zone format. Could be interesting. And another card I want to touch on really quickly, Tensu, additional normal summon for a Beast Warrior. That's pretty good. You can see that getting some play. And then for a Fire Fist hybrid. Now, like I said, this was a thing in the TCG, but in a 20-card format, I just don't think it'll work out too well. I don't really know. What does this card do, actually? So, start going Beast Warrior type monster control, get 700 attack to the end phase of this turn. And the attack means even this card loses the field. That's interesting. And then all Beast Warrior monsters gain 300 attack. So basically, he just gains 1,000 attack. That could be good as well. You can just activate this when they attack, gain 1,000 attack on something. That's pretty good. And now, even when this leaves the field, the 700 attack gain is permanent, so you could play something like Parallel Twister. I don't know, the thing with Gladiator Beasts is I feel like not having a main phase 2, only having a 20-card deck, having it be able to be countered by meta... What am I saying? It's countered by the same things that meta-relevant decks are countered by. For hires, things counter that, they work well against Gladiator Beasts. Things that counter spellbooks work pretty well against Gladiator Beasts. So it'll definitely have a tough time in this format, but I think going forward it could be a lot better. If we hypothetically get a ban list or something like that, that just completely neuters for hires and spellbooks and even, I guess even heroes. Look, heroes, the things counter heroes don't really apply to this deck as much, I guess. This deck could be really good. Maybe I'm just hopeful because I love this deck. You know, I tried to cog with it once and I failed miserably. I don't know why I could never use this deck in Duel Links, but I was really good with it in the TCG. Either way, I'm rambling. What do you guys think of Gladiator Beasts? I'm very excited to play this deck. This new event just started today, so all these new cards are live now. And then this is from the most recent box. I didn't buy any of it. I don't think the new box is good, by the way. I didn't make a video separate on it, but new box, don't think it's that good. In the future, though, I think it will be good because Lightsworn stuff is good, and the Gem Knight stuff could be relevant in the future. So either way, I really am rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Gladiator Beasts in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.